When we talk about the biggest fish in women's basketball, it's clear Caitlin Clark reigns supreme. Now, don't get it twisted. There will always be debates about the best player in the league.
In this case, though, the biggest fish, David, and it's not close, is of course Caitlin Clark. And that is not a statement, as we always have to caveat about
whether she's the best in terms of skills, impact, or overall dominance is subjective. What isn't debatable, however, is her marketability and her ability to bring in an economic windfall wherever she goes, and let's talk about that. It's more than just flashy stats. Caitlin Clark is bringing in money, big money.
But in terms of the draw, the biggest free agent, the biggest economic stimulus package that can be provided to a startup like this, it's obviously her, and she is not.
While the WNBA's pay scale might not reflect her star power, Caitlin has already shown that her presence on the court leads to a massive economic boost. The Indiana Fever, her new team, are reeling from the whirlwind effect of her talent. From the moment Clark stepped into the WNBA, the atmosphere shifted. Suddenly, games felt different. The energy in the arena was electric, and it wasn't just because of her stellar three-point shooting. She became an instant draw, the kind of player whose name alone could sell out an entire arena. When the Fever played in front of their home crowd, the excitement was palpable.
Are they going to get the ball up in time? Clark for the win!
What makes Caitlin so special isn't just her ability to drain long-range shots or dominate offensively. It's her leadership, her court vision, and her charisma. She plays the game with a confidence and flair that makes it impossible to look away. Even casual fans can't help but be drawn in by her explosive performances, and that's not something every player can achieve. In fact, Caitlin Clark's influence has turned the WNBA into a completely different type of spectacle. Fans from all over the country are tuning in, not just because they love basketball, but because they want to watch Caitlin Clark do what she does best. Whether it's a dramatic game-winning three-pointer or a perfectly executed assist, Clark keeps fans on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting what she'll do next.
Clark, of course, went #1 overall. It was such a great night to watch her get up there. She's going to the Indiana Fever. She's going to get a contract.
But there's one crucial element to this whole story that we can't ignore. While Caitlin Clark is shaking up arenas and making history on the court, her financial impact is still very much up in the air. The WNBA operates within a system that places limits on salaries, a system that wasn't built for players like Caitlin Clark. It's a challenge the league hasn't fully faced yet, but it's one they will need to address sooner rather than later. The stakes have never been higher. When you look at Caitlin Clark's career, it's easy to be impressed by her statistics. In her rookie season, Clark averaged a jaw-dropping 316 points, 74 rebounds, and 9 assists per game. Those numbers aren't just impressive, they're revolutionary for a rookie, especially in a league as competitive as the WNBA. Clark didn't just show up.
They sold 1,000 tickets in 15 minutes. They're selling out stadiums.
They're saying that when she goes to visit other teams...
And that dominance isn't just reflected in her performance. It's also seen in the economic impact she's had on the Fever, and the league ticket sales have exploded. The Fever are filling stadiums like never before, and fans aren't just showing up, they're coming for Caitlin Clark. In fact, it's become clear that the majority of those who attend Fever games are coming to see her in action.
We would have said, when we're talking about dominating with Caitlin Clark, what would those numbers have?
Over 300,000 fans have packed into Fever games this season, breaking attendance records. This isn't just a victory for the team. It's a testament to the drawing power of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise to superstardom in the WNBA has brought new energy to women's basketball, especially for her team, the Indiana Fever. Her incredible skill set and marketability have transformed not just her team, but also the league's visibility and revenue potential. However, her story underscores a glaring issue: the disparity in pay between WNBA players and their NBA counterparts. Despite generating significant revenue for her team and the league, Clark's rookie contract is worth only $338,000 over 4 years. In comparison, NBA rookie Victor Wembanyama will earn $13 million in his first season. This stark difference raises a pressing question.
The numbers.
It would have been a scoring number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Because of that high clip, shooting it,
Right,
we'd have been like...
That's what she did in
You consider 20 points per game.
How can a player of Clark's caliber, who creates such immense value, be compensated so little? Caitlin Clark's situation exemplifies the broader systemic issues in the WNBA. While her rise has been a boon for the Fever, it also brings challenges. Her star power demands not only attention but also compensation, that reflects her contributions on and off the court. Yet, the league's collective bargaining agreement imposes strict salary caps, leaving teams like the Fever with limited options to reward her properly.
So you don't consider 20 points per game?
So if her stats, when we're saying she won't do this in the W, she averaged 31.6, 7.4 rebounds, 9...
Behind the scenes, the Fever are reportedly exploring creative ways to structure Clark's contract. These include performance-based bonuses, revenue-sharing agreements, and endorsement partnerships to supplement her income. While these strategies are innovative, they may still fall short of matching her true market value. The WNBA's rigid salary structure, designed to ensure parity across teams, ironically restricts its ability to retain top-tier talent like Clark. This creates a significant dilemma for the league. If it cannot adapt to the needs of its most marketable players, it risks losing them to overseas leagues or other opportunities that offer better financial rewards. Clark, with her unprecedented combination of skill, charisma, and influence, could easily be lured away by such offers, which would be a devastating blow to the league.
Yeah, it's definitely different for me. I feel like basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything.
Clark's value extends far beyond her on-court performance. Her presence has revitalized the Indiana Fever, boosting ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and fan engagement. Local businesses in Indianapolis have also benefited from the increased foot traffic generated by fans attending Fever games. The Caitlin Clark effect has turned the team into a must-watch franchise, drawing national attention and increasing sponsorship opportunities for the league. However, this raises an important question. Should players who contribute so significantly to the league's financial growth be bound by outdated salary caps? Clark's ability to draw fans and revenue is comparable to that of high-profile NBA players.
I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast, and then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team and kind of move on and put all that behind me and help this team, get back to...
The WNBA's current structure prevents her from receiving a fair share of the wealth she helps create. Caitlin Clark's contract situation is part of a larger conversation about the state of women's sports. The WNBA has made strides in recent years with increased viewership, higher attendance, and expanded sponsorship deals. However, these gains have not yet translated into equitable player compensation. For the league to truly thrive, it must address this imbalance. One potential solution is revisiting the WNBA's CBA to allow for greater financial flexibility. This could include higher salary caps, increased endorsement opportunities, and revenue-sharing models that reward players based on their contributions. Another option is establishing a tiered pay structure that reflects players' marketability and performance. These changes would not only benefit players like Clark, but also attract more talent to the league.
I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back, and it was special. There was a lot of things that this group accomplished that, a lot of people...
Further fueling its growth. The WNBA could also look to other sports for inspiration. For example, women's soccer has seen significant progress in pay equity, with the US women's national team securing equal pay with their male counterparts. While the circumstances differ, the WNBA could adopt similar strategies to ensure fair compensation for its players. For the Indiana Fever, retaining Caitlin Clark is not just a priority, it's a necessity. Her presence has turned the team into a contender, both on the court and in the business arena. Losing her would mean more than just a dip in performance. It could also result in a loss of fan interest, sponsorships, and revenue. The Fever's efforts to keep Clark could serve as a blueprint for other teams navigating the challenges of retaining star players. By pushing for changes to the league's salary structure,
continues to break records on the court. We've seen it all year, but she's also breaking records off the court. And she's doing some things no other women's athlete has done before.
They could pave the way for a more sustainable future for the WNBA. However, the risk remains that if these changes don't come quickly enough, Clark could explore other opportunities that offer greater financial security. Caitlin Clark's story is about more than just one player or one team. It's about the future of women's basketball. Her rise highlights the need for systemic change in how female athletes are valued and compensated.
Her popularity, it is the Caitlin Clark effect. Anything that we're going to put in the store to be able to celebrate her, to be able to bring more awareness to her and her brand is a win-win for both sides.
The WNBA has a unique opportunity to lead this charge and set a new standard for women's sports. However, achieving this will require collaboration between players, teams, and league officials. It will also depend on continued support from fans, sponsors, and media outlets. The more attention and investment the WNBA receives, the the more leverage it will have to enact meaningful change.
After selling 48,000 boxes in weeks of Caitlin Clark branded cereal and also Clark player cards, the store has announced a partnership with Wilson.
The road ahead for the WNBA is filled with challenges but also immense potential. Caitlin Clark represents the kind of talent that can propel the league to new heights. However, for that to happen, the league must evolve. This includes addressing salary disparities, improving working conditions, and creating opportunities for players to maximize their earnings.
Pretty similar on and off the floor. Like, she's just been a voice that's been there. She's been through this league for 7 years now. Like, she knows what to expect. She knows how things are going to go.
The WNBA's ability to adapt will determine whether it can retain players like Clark and continue its upward trajectory. Failure to do so could result in a talent drain, with the league losing its brightest stars to other opportunities. On the other hand, embracing change could usher in a new era of growth and success for women's basketball.
And I think more than anything, like, we are just starting to understand each other much better. Like, we could just make eye contact and she knows to go back door. She knows to come and get the ball. Like, that just comes with...
Caitlin Clark's journey in the WNBA is a microcosm of the broader challenges facing women's sports. Her impact on the game is undeniable, but her story also highlights the need for systemic change. The WNBA must recognize the value of players like Clark and create a framework that allows them to thrive. For the Indiana Fever, this is a pivotal moment. Retaining Clark means not only securing their future, but also setting a precedent for how the league handles its rising stars. For the WNBA, it's an opportunity to lead by example and show that women's sports deserve the same respect, attention, and compensation.
Playing with one another, so it's been a lot of fun for me. I mean, she's playing so well right now, just as good as anybody in this league. So I feel very lucky and fortunate to have her
as their male counterparts. As we watch this story unfold, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark has already changed the game, and she's just getting started.
I'm really not understanding in all of this, and I feel like it's been such a pattern throughout the entire season. It feels like there are still certain people within the WNBA who want the league to grow.
Whether the WNBA can rise to the occasion remains to be seen, but her influence will undoubtedly shape the future of women's basketball for years to come.
I don't want it to grow if it's certain people at the face, and there is still this undertone of jealousy that for some reason I cannot get around calling it anything else but that, because I don't know what.
If this story has resonated with you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Sport Pulse. We'll keep you updated on Caitlin Clark, the WNBA and all the latest developments in the world of sports.